Yep.
This one extends so like that. You might need to select another in this
Alright, so for those of you who haven't met me yet, my name is Wojciech and I have been doing software development for more or less 9 years now, and 5 of which was TDD, pair programming and similar practices like that. So the problem I wanted to talk about today is, think about it, you've got one failing test and it's going to make the whole build go red. So what happens in long-running builds? I think we've got a few of those on the floor. It's harder to notice the other failing tests. So you've got a build failing for one reason, and in the meantime there might be other reasons piling up. So, and some of those tests might be failing for a good reason for a long period of time. For example, environment downtime on integration incompatibilities. Which means it might be failing for example, 1 month, and you know it's going to be failing for a month. So one of the possible solutions is suppressing the failing test for a day so that we get a green build. That way, when the other tests fail, you're going to see the build go red again. Therefore, you get the visibility on, more granular visibility on the tests going red. Or another way to do it is setting up a reminder to look at the test next time somebody is in the area and has a look at it. So how would you do that? How would you solve these? How would you implement these solutions? Sorry. A specific example might be an integration test failing. So imagine you have 2 environments, Prod 1 and Prod 2, and you've got a integration test that tests against both environments. I don't know if it rings a bell for some of you. And you know that one of those production sites is going to be down for at least a month. And how do you tell somebody that that test, that production environment is going to be down for a month, and the test shouldn't be run for the next month against the production 2 environment? But after that month, somebody should check with somebody from the SA team, let's say, and make sure that we unignore the test, for example. So common solutions are, for example, suppressing the test by using the ignore annotation. That raises questions like who's going to unignore it and when's that going to happen. Leaving to-dos, which most of us know never get actioned. You just remove them instead of action on them. You can put a card on the board, for example, and yeah, sometimes that works. I guess depends on the team how you handle those kinds of things. And sometimes you can raise JIRA tickets as well to track those kinds of things. Another solution, which is the one I wanted to propose today, is a test time bomb. It blows up after the test after a specified date. So how's that going to look like? I'm not sure if you can see anything in here in the back rows. Yeah, it says time bomb in here. So this is going to be a utility class we're going to be using in our test. It's going to have a method that says blow up after. It takes a date when to blow up and an explanation. So what it does, it's simple stuff. Gets the current date, compares it to the date specified, and throws an assertion error. We're going to have a helper method that's got an easier method signature to use in the test. So it takes a year, month, and a day of month, and an explanation. And then it parses the date to a date object and passes it into the other method, and there's some Java boilerplate. So this is our utility test class we will be using in our test. How can we use it? Let's imagine we have an SFTP client and we're going to be writing an SFTP client integration test just for the sake of demonstrating how this could work. So one of the tests we could write is, say, supports all FTP servers. So what this does is we're going to be getting all SFTP server names from some test data source, and for each of those we're going to instantiate a new SFTP client and list the directory on a path. So this is very simple just to demonstrate the case, but what it does is make sure that it doesn't blow up on all of the servers if we try to connect to it. You can think of like, you know, certificates being used by default by this guy or whatever. Unfortunately, one of the most of the sites that are in this SFTP service list are down at this point in time, so we have to filter them. We know that only the servers that start with test and UK, the host name starts with the string, that those are the only host names that are up right now, so we're going to be filtering them out. So the build was red at this point in time. Now it's green again because we're filtering the servers that are down at this point in time out. So the test is going to go green again, but the problem remains, when are we going to remove these lines again? How do we make sure that we're going to be testing against all of the servers? Well, then we get a time bomb in. So we put a time bomb and tell it to blow up after the specified date, and what it says is we should chase with Mike from a SAFE team about the test environment other than the only working test environment suite. So that way, on this specified date, when somebody runs this test, where this time bomb is going to blow up, and what he or she can do is either remove the time bomb and remove the filtering if the servers are already up and running, or postpone the time bomb to a later date whilst consulting with Mike. Another way of using this API is, let's say we're going to be downloading a file. So this is another SFTP client on a host name, and it's downloading a file. Unfortunately, in this case, the remote path that we can download only exists on one of the host names, just a specific one server. Unfortunately, that server is down right now at this point in time, but we know it's going to be up again in 2 days' time. So what that means, this test is red right now, but we want to get it green for the next 2 days and then make it red again. So what we can do is wrap it in a time bomb. What this means is this is going to return false. The time bomb either returns false or blows up. So we've got a false return in here, therefore this test is basically ignored, but after this date it's going to start blowing up, and what it says, just 2 days in the future, chase with Paul from operations about the network connectivity to this host name. So these are the two cases I've seen work. It's unusual Java boilerplate. So obviously this doesn't come for free. One of the things you'll see is that some of the tests are flaky, so if you suppress a test suppress running a test for a month, it might go green at some point in time, and you might be interested in those events, but you're not going to see it because it's just going to be suppressed. And the other thing is, if the application is not built, which means the tests are not being run during a long period of time, the time bombs are not going to go off at all. Credits and thanks, it's not my idea. I've worked on a team a while ago when this was a common practice. So thanks to those guys. And yeah, that's pretty much it. Any questions?
This can be, maybe the implementation can be an annotation?
Yeah, you're right. It could have been an annotation, yeah. So the problem with, or the trade-off with annotations is you need a runner for an annotation, yeah, whereas this is just a static import. But I guess it's a preference, right? Yeah, you're right. It could have been an annotation.
How many times has your team used it?
Yeah, so we're using it in the pipeline integration test for the production to environments where it's right now it's not there yet, basically. And we started using it only a month ago, I believe, or something like that.
Did you consider muting the tests in TeamCity?
Second, sorry?
Did you consider muting the tests in TeamCity?
Yes, that's a good point. I didn't know you can do that. So you can mute tests in TeamCity.
Yeah, you mute it and then you can tell it various rules, like the first time you go green, unmute it, and then start spelling.
So but would that work in local builds as well?
No, it wouldn't work in local.
So it's like TeamCity, but you can mute it in TeamCity.
At least that way you don't have to check anything in, it's just a change on TeamCity, it's not a change in...
Yeah, fair enough. Cool. Alright, thanks guys.